Welcome to UDK Resurrection. I am Nocho, and I will be your narrator for this final video in the Fundamentals series. Today, we'll cover packaging and distribution. I will show you how to package and distribute your game. This also includes a special trick to include 64-bit executables in your build. Before you package our game for distribution, you will need to make some important changes. Let us begin. First, you will need to ensure your installer will install your necessary files from your package game, and that is handled through the manifest XML files. By default, they are configured by Epic Games to only pack and install files for the Windows 32-bit executable data. This was the standard in 2009, during a time when 32-bit was still relevant and 64-bit was uncommon. This has since changed over time. 64-bit is the new standard, and 32-bit is now outdated. Another reason you will want to do this is because of the DX11 features and performance benefits. Windows 32-bit mode only supports DX9 graphics, and I think it relies on single-thread processor core usage. Not ideal if you want to use the best graphical features offered during the 7th gaming generations. Head to your binaries folder and open the onsetup manifest game.xml file. In this file, there are things you will want to adjust for your package to bundle the correct files for your game. Here references your root name, which is your game's short name, determined via engine source code parameters, your game's full name, and your game name's executable. Just set them all to this. You will also want to switch this to this. Find this section in the XML file. These are the files the installer will include, hence the game files to include section. Obviously, you will want to change some of these. If for some reason, you still want to keep the Win32 files, then use this instead. Here are the link shortcuts. They are necessary if you want to add special links for your game, such as your website, mod documentation, your community media, or something else entirely. These two shortcuts lead to Epic Games forums and UDN respectively. The former link is dead, and the latter link is useless for this build, so if nothing else, just delete this instead. Close this file. Open for the onsetup manifest game.xml file. Take a good look in the game files to exclude section. These are the lines you need to replace. The last line in particular excludes the entire Win64 directory. Obviously not what you want. Ideally, this is what you are looking for. However, if you, again, wish to include the Win32 files as a secondary option in your package game, use this instead. Close this file. Navigate to the config folder in your UDK game folder. Open the default engine configuration file. It is important to change these parameters in the URL section. Game name short and game name can be changed later through the package game process if you prefer to wait for that instead, but to be safe, I will be changing them anyway. The local map, however, needs to be changed to your menu map. This will start your menu map as soon as the game starts up and passes through the loading screen videos. If you have created your own entry map, you may want to set the transition map as well, but somehow I doubt you have, and it is honestly unnecessary for this tutorial. Close this configuration file. Open the default game configuration file. Ensure you change the settings in the engine.gameinfo section to match those of your custom classes, your game info and player controller. Close this configuration file. Navigate to the movies folder within the UDK game folder. Most of these movies are pure junk. Let's delete them all, sans for 2, the UE3 logo, and UDK frontend.udk loading Bink movie files, also known as BIK files. Time to package our game. Launch Unreal Frontend. You need to add some maps to cook. Locate 2 of your maps, your menu and game levels, and add them. Rename your profile to your desired name, should you wish to do so. Start the automated process. Package game is skipped by default, but we will deal with that later. You need to test the cooked levels first and ensure the game is in working order. If running the automation for the first time, you might encounter this screen prematurely. You can just close it or fill in the data and click Package Game. Since that final option is skipped, it will do nothing regardless. Test the game using the launch button, not through Unreal Ed. This will launch the game in standalone mode. Good. It works. Finally, package your game. You can enable the step for the Package Game button if you want to fully automate the process of compiling, cooking, testing, and packaging. With that out of the way, click the button to package your game. This screen will appear again. Assuming you have not filled it prior, just set your game long name and your game name. The descriptions will explain what they do. They are somewhat self-explanatory. Wait for the game to package. Navigate to your builds directory to find the installer for your game. Install and play your game. You can also check the directory of your installed game to ensure all of your files installed properly. Hallelujah! You finally did it! You now know how to package your game for distribution with techniques to customize your package for modern systems. Keep in mind, you can use this to your advantage when developing and releasing games. For the longest time during the golden time of the UDK, few indie game developers knew how to properly edit the packager for UDK to include the important files for modern systems. Files that would utilize DX11 through the 64-bit executable and its necessary supporting files. With this knowledge, you can also package more tools for your game or even the Unreal editor itself if you ever wish to support UGC content. This concludes this tutorial video and the Fundamentals series. We hope you enjoyed this series. In the future, we will create database videos on the features of Unreal Engine 3 and the many gems you can use to improve your game development skills and experience. Similar to Matthew Wattstein's WTF is series. If you like what we do, click the like and subscribe buttons. Establish, explore, expand.